It's now day 28 of the Stop the Diabetic Insanity journey. It's exactly 4 weeks since I started this video log, and I have to say it's been quite an amazing journey. Um, I think from this point on, the first phase is 4 weeks, so this is now, I guess, the second phase, which is month 2. And what I'd really like to do is actually explore things I haven't been brave enough to do properly, and the big one is fasting. Now, this cuts deep because, um, how shall I say, um, not having food inside me is really scary because sitting with emptiness and not eating, aside from the fear of being hungry and not having enough nutrients, it's really about sitting with your emotions. You know, those scary emotions that you're not willing to face and been running away from. And let's face it, for most of us, food is an escape, even if it's just a social thing. Food is a very pleasant escape. It tastes good, it looks good, it's often around a social event. Um, and doing fasting is hard. It's really hard. I've done it a few times in my life. Did the 40-hour famine when I was a teenager with a friend. I've done it before I've kind of had an examination, where they make you drink a liquid and fast for 3 days beforehand. Um, I've done it at the hospital when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, and they weren't sure whether I was going to have an operation or not, and so they had to fast me for at least 3 days. And it's actually quite an experience, and if you get beyond the wave of hunger, it actually feels quite good afterwards. It's almost like a euphoria. Um, and I guess it's that point where it's ketosis, what they call ketosis, where your body's starting to use the energy that you've been putting into your body, and it's giving itself a chance to actually almost regenerate, using the energy from the food you've consumed for many days. It's also an emptying out process, emptying out all the stuff you've been putting into it, whether it's been toxic or not. So it's both a body experience, a physical body experience, and I think it's also a bit of a spiritual experience as well. So I think from this point on, starting from today, I'd like to devote at least 1 to 2 days a week that I plan to actually start with a 12-hour fast. So going from about, whenever I stop eating the day before midnight to about the next day, which is about, midday, and seeing how I go with that, then extending it to about 14 hours and 16 if I'm really successful, and seeing how I go with the weight loss. And I think it will help with the weight loss because I'm actually cleansing up my body. The hardest part will be invitations, commitments, time commitments, needing to get out of the house and feeling hungry and being tempted with food. I've been actually pretty good at saying no to myself. I was at the Preston Market yesterday, and Preston Market is just it's just a cacophony of temptations with food. You've got that beautiful smell of pizza, you've got souvlaki, kebabs, Indian food, you name it, it's there. And I was so tempted yesterday to eat something, even if it was semi-healthy, to eat something. And I decided I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't do that to myself. I just needed a bit of a break from eating and just fulfilled my senses with something a little more pleasurable than that, which was buying some flowers and going to a health food store. And it was fine. I got through that. So it's really about training and taming your body and your emotions to suit your cause and to fulfill your purpose, and I'm willing to put my body on the line for that. So this is my new commitment at week 4, / week 5, to really, really commit myself to this cause of fasting, for the sake of my health, for the sake of my body, putting less pressure on my body with food, and temptations, and really seeing how I go emotionally with it. I think it will be hard initially, but I think once I get beyond a certain point where my body gets used to it, my mind gets used to eating a lot less or not eating at all, I think I will be successful at it. So there you go. Yeah, start of a new week. It's going to be an interesting week because it's the start of my holidays. And I'll have periods of silence and sometimes boredom and not doing much. So it will be interesting how I go with this journey. Okay, talk to you later.